We've left studio this week for a special interview with Marcia Fraser. She's the mother of Maria Dean. Maria Dean was beaten while in custody here at the Barnett Street lockup in Montego Bay in August 2014. Beaten so badly, he died 3 days later. I'm Dion Jackson Miller. You're watching All Angles. Thank you so much for talking to us, Ms. Fraser. One of the things I hear people say about you is you're so strong, what a strong woman. Do you feel strong in yourself? No, I don't feel the strength. I don't feel like I'm strong because there are times when I really break down and I'm weak and I'm a spiritual woman, so I'll ask the Father for strength. But it's not the strong or the strength, it's the push, the promise, and the push is, I know Maria is not a bad person. The second day, I think the Tuesday before he died, the day before he died, he started to come around and I was at the hospital and I was praying, hold his hand and praying, and then I feel his hand start moving, like he's holding on to me. And somebody there, and I said, he's holding on to me, and he's like, talk to him, he can hear you. He cannot respond, but he can hear. And I made him a promise. I said, hold on, I'll see to it that you get justice. And then he died. I still have to make that, keep that promise. And I'm glad I did. And you believe he heard you, he was aware? He was aware, he heard. At the time when you made that promise, did you have any idea what you were in for? No, none. Because the Sunday when I went in, he was out. Monday we stayed there. Sunday night we went off after a hospital visit. We went to a friend close by to get something to eat and rest a little and shower and change and come back. So that's how we spend the time. We also, my daughter and myself, we took the bench outside. So one would rest and the other watch. That's how we do it. And then we change. So the Tuesday night, I said, we can go home now. Hindi come in and that nobody will try anything because there was 3 police officers guarding him and we don't understand why 3. And they were listening to us. So if I'm talking to you and they're over there, one of them walk over and they're not afraid to come and stand in your midst. They're not afraid to do it. And so we decided, no man, Hindi come in. And my daughter said, Mommy, I'm staying. I said, no, you cannot take another night out here. And the next day, we didn't expect it. We were really thinking that he's going to take some time, but he will put through. What led you to make that promise to him? Because I want him to fight. So if I make him a promise, I was thinking that he will fight to live. Tell me what led up to the promise? What was happening? At the time, he in the hospital with all the instruments, and he was like in a coma. He was on the life supporting machine. He was out for a while, and then it's because the machine you could see the breathing. Because one of the time when it changed the thing, you could see the flatness and up. But at this point now, he started to move. His feet start to move and such. And you could see the stomach now, like he's fighting inside. How did that feel for you? Heart-wrenching to see a child in such pain and you cannot do anything. Diane, it's not a good feeling. I don't want nobody have that experience. It's not nice. And that's when it happened to me, that's when I realized what people really go through when you lose a child. Especially in that, that sudden, that it's not a nice feeling, Diane. Don't want to know what it feels like. So you saw him start to move, and then what happened? So that's when I was praying and he's moving, and that's when I'm making the promise, because I think this promise now will give him strength to fight, because Mommy is there, Mommy is there. Mommy is always there, Mommy is there. I realize that I am there and I make him that promise. And know he will try to pull through. He will fight to live. That's why I'm making the promise. I want him to fight to live. And do you think he heard you? He heard. And do you feel that you have managed through the years to continue to fight for that? Yes. I am just so thankful that, it's just a strength.
sometimes really weak because Dion, when this thing happened in Dion, I wasn't strong. I wasn't strong. I was coming back from a grave illness. If you notice how thin I was then, I was coming back from a grave illness. That's what brought me down this side of Hanover. My sister, she had help and everything, and she said, come. And I come to recover. And I fight for my life there. Maybe that's what maybe give me that strength. They say they have the strength. And so it wasn't easy because physically, I was also weak. Maybe spiritually, I was like, yeah, I trust God. So, but I was weak. If I'm to cry, that's why I try not to cry. So like, I end up on the floor, weak.
Part of what we've seen over the years is a series of demonstrations. So like the first anniversary, you were there in front of the Barnett Street police station, you and supporters with placards. Yeah. How did that come about, that first demonstration?
When it coming up to the anniversary, it was like from about Mother's Day coming up. Then I was out of myself because normally I would see him on a Mother's Day. And I started to have all kind of feeling. I started to feel sick. I started to have all kind of feeling. And coming up, I'm wondering, so how am I going to deal with it? What am I going to do? The anniversary coming up, and everything. And I sat down one day stopped working, and I was thinking till I started to cry. And everything started to flash before me, the intimidation in the court. That was one of the things that pushed me to fight, really. That was one of the things that pushed me to go out there. Because I'm like, yes, I promised him to get justice. But no, you are treating me like I am the bad person. That's how I was feeling. Because you're going to court, they steer you down, they have camera, you try to move sometime and they come over. And I'm like, so I started to sum up all of it. I started to bottle it up, and I was like, inside was like boiling. How do you deal with this? Look, I'm not a violent person, so I can't go out there, go to deal, carry on. And it just come to me. Take a placard and go out there and let them know that you're not backing down. That's how I sum it up in that period of time. It just take over from then, and each day it boils. And what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I just sum all the feelings up together and just say, going out there.
And when you were standing out there with your placard, what did that feel like?
It feels, especially when people start coming down and say, yes, mother. And so there you start to feel, yes, I think I do a right thing. Yeah, I just, feel like, yes, I'm doing the right thing, Because there's where I told my son once, somebody was provoking him and they didn't know that I was home. So when he came in, he come and back up in me, and it was a family member. And she was lashing out at him because he said something to her son, and, children, you should leave them alone. And when he come down and I listened, both of them, I didn't answer her. He didn't say anything, just look at me like, like, Mommy going to get me now, because I'm a disciplinarian, you just do it. You don't rude to adult. You just don't tell people what you feel. And I look at him and I said to him, you can let somebody know exactly how you feel without being rude. He looks up in my face and I repeat it, and he go inside the house. Conversation end. You don't have to fight. You find a way. There's always a right way.
Well, you say you don't have to fight, but you mean
physically and...
because you were fighting in a different way.
Yes, in a different way. But, some people say, should be what I would do and what I would do. No, it's not in me. That's not in me. So I have to find a way, yes, that I can come back at you without getting physical, without being exactly rude. I haven't been rude to anyone, And you just have to find a way and do it. And tell you the truth, I am glad I did it. I'm glad I stand, even when school starts, because I have to work.
Hold that thought. I want to talk more about that, but we're at the break. Let's go to the break. We're back in a moment.